River State embarked on indefinite strike. Nigerians in Cross River State to enjoy poultry meat at affordable cost. Plus, Senate reconsiders Electoral Act Amendment Bill in Clause 52 on transmission of election results. Details of this and more presently. Good evening and thanks for joining us on Nta Calabar News at 7. I am Maria John. Now the news in detail. In compliance with directives by the leadership of the organized labor in the state, workers across the state have commenced an indefinite strike to press home their demands. Ode Alenyo reports that non-implementation of promotions, non-payment of gratuity and full payment of minimum wages are among the 13-point demands as contention between the labor and the state government.
NTA news crew as early as 8 a.m. were at some government offices and met the gates under lock and key. The chairman, Nigerian Labour Congress, Cross River State Council, Ben Okpepi, says the option for the strike is necessitated by what he described as government insensitivity to the plight of workers in the state. Leader of the task force for the implementation of the strike, Mr. Idiege, in a swift reaction, emphasized that the withdrawal of the services of workers is to ensure that government meets the workers' demands.
It's critical in the minds of Cross River State workers that promotions implementation, which letters have been issued for over 6 years, are without implementation. That do not motivate workers' performance.
It is because we are shutting down the state for obvious reason. That's the reason that you see all MDAs, offices, new secretariat, old secretariat, House of Assembly, as it were, they are all shut down, and it is complete and indefinite.
Other items on the 13-point demand in contention are the non-implementation of 27.5% teachers' enhancement allowance, as well as inclusion of all employees who are yet to be on the list of the payroll of government. In Calabar, Ode Alenyo, NTA News.
Senate has reversed its decision on the 2010 Electoral Act Amendment Bill passed in July this year. The legislators had passed it with amendment in Clause 52 that transmission of election results can only take place if the Nigerian Communications Commission assures of adequate and secured network coverage and approval of the National Assembly. But now it has reversed its decision that voting at an election and transmission shall be in accordance with the procedure determined by the Electoral Commission, which implies that it is at the discretion of INEC to decide mode of voting and transmission of results. It inserted an electronic voting machine to replace any other device for conduct of election in Clause 43, subsection 1 and 3. It had adopted direct and indirect party primaries, but has now adopted direct primaries in Clause 87. Senate has confirmed the nomination of Justice Hosseini Baba Yusuf for appointment as the Chief Judge of the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory. Meanwhile, the legislators have commenced debate on the 2022 appropriation bill.
It's for the conference committee to retreat after the submissions by our colleagues. You can now go to the House engagement with an opinion, which will be the preponderant opinion of the Senate.
Nigerians in Cross River State are soon to enjoy poultry meat at affordable cost. This is because the Cross River State Tunnel ventilated climate-controlled automated poultry closed house located in Odekwarin, which is to supply the over 20,000 birds per day chicken processing factory, has commenced its test run. Correspondent Paul Libel was there and now completes the story.
We are right now at the Cross River State Tunnel Ventilated Poultry Closed House. This place, as you can see, houses about 15,000 of birds, which were raised right from a day old. In 5 weeks, they have become more mature, ready for slaughter. And we have 6 of these poultry house, closed house here in Cross River State. This is the test run. And from here, it is feeding the Kalachika the slaughterhouse that will be made ready for use and supply to customers. And we have here the officer in charge that will tell us more about the activities of this closed ventilated poultry house.
Here we have 2.5, which means we are going to give cross-surveillance better sizes at lower cost, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing. So to continue the effect of this house, we have been able to see the difference between open houses and controlled house.
The poultry manager also speaks on other facilities which makes the ventilated closed house unique.
Everything is automated. You can imagine we served, the highest bag we served here was close to 110 bags before we started calling. Now, in serving 110 bags, you can imagine 2 persons serving that bag. So all we did was just to use the automation system. Pour, and the system takes it down to the chicken.
The matured birds are transferred to the chicken processing factory, also known as Kalachika, where they are processed and sold to the public.
This factory has an installed capacity of 24,000 birds per day. And the supply we're getting from all the mop-ups we're doing around all the poultry farmers here was not even up to 1,000 a day. So, however, that problem has been solved today, which is why we are here today. These birds are from the state poultry farm.
When all the 6 ventilated poultry closed houses are completed, it is hoped to meet the capacity of the modern chicken slaughtering factory. In Calabar, Paul Abel, Nta News.
President of the Nigerian Medical Association, Professor Innocent Uja, says medical practitioners are optimistic that the Vice President Yemi Osibajo-led federal government health reform committee will work out modalities that will address issue of brain drain in the profession. He was speaking at an interactive session with journalists in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital. Clement Barikwi tells us more.
Of recent, there has been an increase in the number of Nigerian doctors seeking new jobs outside the shores of the country, a situation that has attracted reactions from well-meaning Nigerians. The Nigerian Medical Association is not also finding this funny, hence a call for increased welfare for health workers.
The issue of brain drain is not new. All we are saying is that the government should reflect on this. I'm happy that the health sector reform committee chaired by the Vice President is in place, and you know that is something that will be discussed, because the President of Nigerian Medical Association is a member of that committee, and we must ensure that we put into place what we will do to improve the health circumstances of our people.
The NMA is also calling for effective implementation of the National Health Insurance Scheme, while also exploring alternative healthcare financing initiative like the proposed Health Infrastructure Bank by the association.
Doctors are not trained to go on strike. We are trained to save lives, and that is what we will do, and we want to stop the strike. We don't want strike anymore.
The NMA president was speaking in an interactive session with journalists. He says he is in Akwa Ibom State to participate in this year's Physicians Week, which is focusing on Nigeria in COVID era, health system strengthening for national security and prosperity. In Uyo, Clement Barikui, Nta News.
This news is reaching you from the studio of Nta Calabar. You can watch this newscast on our YouTube channel at YouTube/Nta Calabar. We'll take a break and the news continues shortly. Welcome back to the rest of the news. Niger State Police Command has paraded 12 suspects for their alleged involvement in various criminal activities ranging from gun running, kidnapping to armed robbery in the bandit-prone areas of the state. State Commissioner of Police Monu Bala Kurias, who paraded the suspects, says all suspects will be made to face the full wrath of the law. Musa Mikhail reports.
Out of the 12 suspects paraded by the Niger State Police Command were 2 suspected gun runners who took to their heels when their vehicle was intercepted by the patrol team of the command. Exhibits recovered from the suspect include 2 AK-47 rifles, 16 magazines, 417 live ammunition of 7.2 calibers, and 150 RPG live ammunition. Among those apprehended and paraded is fabricator of locally made guns, in which 14 locally manufactured guns comprising of 6 double-barrel and 8 triple-barrel guns concealed in a sack were confiscated and also put on display.
We were intercepted on our way to our destination and we were questioned on what we had in the vehicle. It was in the process that our driver drove off the vehicle and we were pursued. The authority is aware that we use such guns for vigilante work. Each rifle is sold for 16,000 naira and I am being given 1,000 naira for each gun.
Following a tip-off, 2 other suspects were arrested along Kwanabiri community in Kontagora local government area of the state for their alleged involvement in kidnapping. Police reports indicates some of the kidnapped victims were rescued from criminal hideout, as well as 2 men who are currently in police net for supplying 10 jerrycans of 25-liter capacity of fuel to bandits. The command also paraded 3 suspected armed robbers caught in possession of a stolen Toyota Highlander, jewelries, cash of about 1 million naira, and handset.
Niger State Police Command, under my leadership, will continue to ensure safety and protection of life and property of Nigerians, while urging members of the public to also continue to support police and other security agencies by giving useful information about crime and criminality in their various communities in order to nip crime in the bud.
All suspects are to be prosecuted soon. In Mina, Musa Mikhail, NTA News.
And as the global community marks the International Day of the Girl Child, advocacy is on the need for the education of the girl child, equal opportunity, and gender-based violence-free society. This was the position of stakeholders who speak on the significance of the International Day of the Girl Child Day celebration. Nkoyo Edom has more.
The International Day of the Girl Child is a day set aside by the United Nations to celebrate the girl child, empower and amplify the voices of young girls around the world. This year's theme for the celebration is Digital Generation, Our Generation. The day focuses on the rights, safety and education of girls with the core objectives of bridging the digital divide and promoting gender-based equality.
Today is the International Girl Child Day, Digital Generation, Our Generation, and I'm proud to be a girl. Fitting in the society, because today we have some people who discriminate between the girl and the guy, and fitting in the society, like in the ways of me being a girl and another person being like, you're a girl. There are some things I don't have to do because I'm a girl, and because this other person is a guy, there are some things this other person have to do and I don't have to do. So I find myself in that situation, fitting in within the guys and also the community and in the society of today.
Okay, today has been set aside globally by United Nations for International Day celebrating the girl child globally. We came in to mark the day with the children, with girls of our time, girls, and trying to tell them that they could also be an inspiration to young persons in their environment.
Some respondents said the day is significant in the life of the girl child, especially in the era where the use of social media influences and shapes the thoughts and feelings of many.
This day is a day when the girl child, especially as students here, are made to know that they are to be optimal in everything.
We have issues around sexual and gender-based violence still going on. We have issues around trafficking and kidnapping of our female children. So for me, it is there's a need for us to have a reflection on the health and development of the girl child.
Stakeholders are of the opinion that nations need to assist young girls to grow into empowered women with access to proper health care, skill-based learning facilities, and equal opportunities in a world free from gender-based violence and discrimination. In Calabar, Nkoyo Etam NTA News.
And stakeholders, including frontline health workers, are calling for concerted efforts towards the provision of quality mental health care services at all levels. These were the views of some concerned Nigerians in Calabar as they joined the rest of the world to mark the 2021 World Mental Health Day. Ode Alenyo completes the story.
The COVID-19 pandemic has significant impact on people's mental health as it affects all facets of human endeavors, including those with pre-existing mental conditions ranging from neurological and substances use disorder. Concerned Nigerians sue for adequate care for people who are mentally retarded from families, friends, and the church, as well as to reintegrate this class of people into the society.
Parents don't have time for children. Like I told them, our illiterate parents produce doctors, lawyers. Now, educated parents produce Colombo because of no care. Parents should create time for their children.
One thing or the other might have led to that mental illness. Either depression, a serious depression could have led to that. Loss of loved ones could have led to that. So we should learn to accommodate them more.
Even the one caused by that very person. You don't abandon somebody simply because the person has mental illness.
Others enumerated causes of mental retardation to include drug addiction, peer pressure, depression, and environmental factors.
Some go into drinking all those hard drugs. It makes them have mentally disorder. So now, if they follow the will of Christ, definitely they will not be influenced by bad friends.
Please get close to your children, talk to them. Get close to your brother, talk to him or her, or your sister, talk to her, and let them know the implications of these things before they become people that you will need to visit in the hospital. When you are close to them, talk to them. When they see love, psychologically their system will change, and before you know it, you have them sent back to the society.
So whosoever that has, this kind of ailment has fall upon, is a result of the person distancing himself or herself or themselves from God.
Nta Calabar caught up with this mentally challenged person who gave his name as a Rimagbo. He also claimed to be a degree holder with 15 years working experience with the Cross River State Cultural Center before he was laid off.
No, well, if you know what can I do, United States of America, it's better to be a security in person. No, I'm thinking of surgeon. Forwarding and the funeral. So the best way to be on contract. In 10 years' time, your governance can give you one room. In 15 years' time, your governance can give you a car. Because when you talk about being a star, who prepares your paper for pension and gratuity in 35 years' time?
The 2021 World Mental Health Day has as its theme, Mental Health in an Unequal World. The World Health Organization sets aside 10th October each year to create awareness on mental health issues around the world and to mobilize effort in supporting mental health services for people worldwide. In Calabar, Ode Alenyo, NTA News.
Before we go, a quick recap of our major stories. The organized labor in the state has commenced an indefinite strike to press on their demands, which include non-payment of promotions, non-payment of gratuity, and full payment of minimum wages among the 13-point demands. Nigerians in Cross River State are to enjoy poultry meat at affordable cost at the state tunnel ventilated climate control automated poultry closed house located in Odubani commences its test run of supplying over 20,000 beds per day chicken processing factory. Also in the news, the Senate has reversed its decision on the 2010 Electoral Act Amendment Bill passed in July this year. The transmission of election results can only take place if the Nigerian Communications Commission assures of adequate and secured network coverage and the approval of the National Assembly. That's it on the news. Many thanks for being part of the news tonight. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.